Okay. Maybe one person watching. That's alright. Got this A20M as a refurb from Amazon. I figured I'd kind of finish it up, do a test print, but let's throw a Marlin bugfix 2.0 on it. The bed on this thing is really beat up. Whoever was using it, just, I don't know. Looks like they took a chisel to it to get prints off. That's alright, I'm going to throw this old super plate on there. So that won't really matter. Some people have said they've had trouble with Marlin bugfix getting it to print with both colors. So I was going to try bugfix on it, see if I have that problem. And if so, figure out how to fix it. Kind of assuming, okay. Clips are too small. I can't find my bigger clips. That'll be alright. Turn this on. I know the fan noise on these things it's going to be ridiculously loud. I don't know how to fix that other than changing the fans, but I'm not doing that today. Any leveling paper here. That was one time around. When first setting these up, I always go around twice. So you have to move one way too far. It always throws the other ones off. And just doing this to get the bed on there and get ready. We'll jump over on the PC and go download bugfix, compile it and throw it on here. Got a USB cord here somewhere. Alright, let's jump over on the PC. This microphone hopefully not picking up so much background noise from those fans. And let's see. Now we really don't need that right at the moment either. Get rid of that. Alright, so Marlin 2. I guess kind of gonna need a window. I pull just this one? Yeah, okay. Let's see. Marlin. You need to put Marlin 2 on. You need Marlin 2. Okay, so we're on the bug fix. On the bug fix page, first thing you need is all the code. Go to the code, download zip, save file, okay. Then you need the configurations right here. Okay. You need to make sure if you're going to do bug fix, you need to download the new configurations, because if they make any big changes in config.h or advanced.h, your old files won't work anymore. So we're going to download the new package. Alright. We're going to take both of those, drop them in a folder. Go to the folder. I use WinRAR. Whatever unzipping software you have will work. Okay. So first thing we do, this printer I'm putting this on is an A20M. So we're going to jump over to the configuration examples. Down to GTech, look for A20M. You see all the printers are here. I don't know why A30M and A30T are listed here. As far as I know, they don't work, but something may have changed. I don't know, haven't looked into it. As far as I know, you can't put Marlin on at A30, but maybe somebody's finally figured out how. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Anyway, this is A20M. We want to copy both these files. Now if you have a I'm just checking A10. If you have an A10 or A10M, A10T, and it's a newer model with a 4.1B board, when you do this, you want to make sure you go to this folder to get your configuration files. With A20, it doesn't matter so much. It's got the different LCD, but No, it doesn't. 4.1b board still uses this. Well, sorry, getting confused. I shouldn't confuse this. It'll work with almost any firmware. The A10 will not. You have to have the right one. Anyway, I digress. We went to A20M, copy our configuration files. Now we'll go back and go into our bugfix folder, Marlin. You see this configuration, advanced configuration H in there. So we're going to paste the two files, replace them. Okay, so that's all we need to do there. Excuse me. I use VS Code with Platform.io, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes Arduino will work if you use the newest version, but it's really much better to use this. I'm not going to try to tell you how to set this up. There's lots of videos out there how to set up this software. I know just enough of it to be able to do this and not a whole lot else, but it's much faster and much better for Marlin 2 than Arduino is, so I suggest this. Okay, all we got to do now is put our folder in here. Oh shoot. I got myself confused. New folder, yes. Open folder. Desktop. New folder. Okay, and then we click on Marlin Bugfix 2.0 and add. Yes, I trust the authors. Okay. So, really, you should be able to just compile this and put it on the printer as is. There's some changes I do like to make. They're just quick little simple changes. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Go down to Marlin Configuration.h. Okay. You can just scroll down through if you're not really familiar. You see the configuration examples directory. Everything in here should be already all set up, so it should work just putting it on the printer the way it is. If you know you have a version 4, GT2560 version 4, and you happen to scroll down through here and you see it says V3, that's okay. The V3 board and the V3.1 and V4.0 all use the same board, so it's the same firmware, so don't get worried about that. And you can change the machine name if you want. Whatever, doesn't really matter. That'll just show up on the LCD when you turn it on. Okay, and you also might see it says the number of extruders is 1. That's fine. That's the way it should be. Marlin considers our mixing hot ends as being one extruder with several steppers, so don't change this, leave it at 1. Because when you get down to mixing extruders, see it says define mixing extruders. Number of steppers is 2. So obviously if you had a A20T or one of the other T models, you would select 3 there. But like I said, this should be all set up if you chose the right example file for your printer. That's what makes it such a good starting point. Nothing really needs to change much. Now if you already have if you've already done your calibrations, like you know, your extruder steps per millimeter and everything. You can change those right in here when you go to do it, or you can do it on the printer later. No big deal. I just tend to do it when I know. If not, I just do all my calibrations afterwards. Okay, so down here, I know people were saying they had a problem with getting the second extruder to work. If you look here, only E0 driver is defined. Now, technically you shouldn't have to change this, but I did notice a few years ago that if I didn't have a second extruder driver named here, it would do weird stuff. So I've always changed it, and I'm kind of wondering if that might be one of the issues here that people have been talking about. So at the moment, I'm going to leave this as is. I'm not going to change it. And just by the way, if you happen to put new drivers like TMC 2208s, 2209s, this is where you'd change that. And I'm going to do that later on today. I don't know if I'll do it in this live stream or just a regular video, but I'll come back and change that when I put those drivers in this printer. I notice here define noise end stop noise threshold is already uncommented here. I know a lot of people have had issues with the A20 models in particular. When you go to home, the x-axis sort of just sits there in the middle, and then you get a homing failed error, or it just will home and leave X, the hot end carriage just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere. This is what usually fixes it. This is used to be default would be commented, so I'm glad to see that. All right, continue on here. Now, depending on, like I say, if you know what your steps per millimeter should be for your extruder, come back and change these here. If you have a newer printer like this is, the default would actually be 395. So I'm going to set that there. I also I changed the max speed rate for the extruder to 40. And the default max acceleration is set to 500. Well, I like to go to 1,000, so I'm going to put the max to 1,500 just because I like to do it that way. Like I say, these are changes you don't have to make. You shouldn't have to. You should be able to just compile this as is and put it on the printer. And the only other thing I changed, because I like it that way, is to come down here. They've got 255 set. That is actually 260 on an A20M. So I changed that. Not suggesting everyone does that. This is just one of the things that I like to do. And I don't know, because I haven't tried it yet, if you home the printer and then having trouble getting your prints to be centered, excuse me, this is these two lines here are what's called your home position. Actually, it's kind of confusing because, or your home offsets, I should say. So the home offsets are the differences between where the nozzle sits when you've homed the printer and the very front left corner of the bed. So what you can do is measure that with your calipers or a ruler, or you can use the LCD controls to move the nozzle over to the edge of the bed, say with X. Take note of what that number is now. It says where the X position is. And do the same with Y. So you get the nozzle right on the very front left corner. And those are the numbers you'd enter here to and as negatives because you're off the bed, so it would be a negative position. I haven't measured that on this A20M yet, so I'm going to leave it sitting there. So that's pretty much it. And I don't use the runout sensors, and to be honest, I'm going to check once we get this on here. I'm going to check and see if they actually work now. They haven't been working in Marlin 2 for forever. I mean, since the printers got added to Marlin 2, these runout sensors have not worked. So we'll leave this defined. I don't use them on my own printers, so I would normally comment this out. We'll leave it so I can check and see if they actually work. So that's pretty much it. You don't have to make any other changes. One that I like to do, because you know how you turn the knob on the LCD and you turn it clockwise, but the menu selection goes down? That to me is just backwards, and I can't stand it. So if I turn the knob to the left, I want the menu selection to go down the screen, not up. So I'm gonna go change that because I don't like it. And that is right here. Okay, so this reverses the encoder direction for navigating the menus. So all you gotta do to change the knob direction is uncomment that line, and now it'll be the way I like it. Alright, so we're going to come down and make sure this compiles with no errors. Just click build. Now on my PC and VS Code, oh boy, whole bunch of errors. Let's go find out what those are. Go back to the first error. Let's see, configuration is stray number size. Oh, whoops, I guess I messed up something on when I did the bed size. So we'll go back to the bed size and see what I did. Oh, well, that's weird. I guess somehow I did that. We'll take that 0 out. Okay, now it should compile. Let's try. This should only take about 45 seconds or so to compile this. You know, Arduino takes forever, 4, 5, 6 minutes sometimes, especially depending on how slow your PC is. do 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 do. Alright, so that's pretty much done. That's one thing I like about VS Code. Okay, so it compiled successfully. What I like about VS Code is, unlike Arduino, if I make a change now, after I've compiled once, if I go back and make a change, let's, say I change this number and I recompile, it'll only go back and compile the files that it has to make that change. It doesn't recompile the whole package and take forever again. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this on the printer and click the little upload button down here. And it doesn't have to recompile this necessarily. There, it's already uploading it to the printer. And then we'll go back over there and... Oh shoot, I suppose I should have had a test file to make sure it worked. And it's writing and it's reading. That's really, I mean, like I said, that's pretty much how easy it is to put Marlin 2 on any of these printers. Just select the right configuration files from that folder and compile it and put it on. Unless you want to make changes or really need to, that's how simple it is. Alright, so it's on there. It says it's on the printer. Guess I'll go over there and find out. Make sure it's incorrectly. Alright. Something that happens I want to be able to show you here, so I'm going to switch microphones from to the noisy one and grab this camera. Okay, so that error is normal, it's perfectly fine. Just select reset. Push the button, you get a beep, everything's fine. That's initializing. I had an initialization error because the settings didn't match what was already in the printer. And that's one thing, even if it doesn't do that, you should go into the settings and initialize EEPROM after you make a firmware change to clear out any old settings that are still there. So, there. Go to grab you again down here. We got our custom machine name there, bugfix. So that's all set. I suppose I should make up a quick test file. I want to go ahead and heat this up. Temperature. Preheat. Okay, well that's heating up. Go back over and find a test file. Make sure it prints the way it's supposed to. Cut down on some of that background noise over there. Oh, let's see. Throw some Cura in here, Cura. Alright, let's see. Let's get rid of that thing. I haven't set... Oh, this should be a whole nother thing by itself, is setting up Cura. I don't want to do it right now. I don't know if... Go back to 4.8 maybe. Not sure. I don't think there's any configuration files there either. I might have to set Cure up. I wonder if anybody's even watching this thing. Maybe one person? That's alright. Been 37 minutes of weirdness. Okay, it looks like I do have... Oh... Well, that's alright. We can use A10 profile. That's not a problem. Not that. Let's just go to the printer settings. And make it work for A20M just for a quick test. Alright, close enough. Let's see what file. I want something for 2 colors. Well, we'll go with the Moi. I don't know how you pronounce that. Alright. Shift select. Merge. Alright. I wish I'd done this ahead of time. I'm going to do a whole another video. I did some videos before setting up Cure. That was more than a year ago. More than a year ago, so I should probably do an update. I wonder if I should do that as a live stream. Probably announce it first so people know what's going to happen, right? Alright. We need some dual extrusion going on here. Enable the prime tower. Whoa, that's too much. Probably 60 for the colors I got in there. Sometimes it's just easier to move the model than it is the thing. Okay. I haven't used this profile for a while, so I'm really not sure what I might have set. I don't have coasting set up. We know we want that. Alright. Might as well save this profile. Doesn't matter. Alright, slice it again. Yeah, I'll do a whole video, another video on setting up Cure with the newer version. I thought there'd be a whole lot different. And actually, GTech just did a video on their page, and it looks like they used my settings from one of my saved profiles on the in the file section of this page here, because I noticed that they they put in 0.44 millimeter for the line width, which is more correct than 0.4. So, and some of the other settings are same as what I make them, so it's good they finally did that. Oh, I forgot to make sure that under dual extrusion, see, nozzle switch retraction distance 16. That's ridiculous. That's what causes stringing and blobs between your model and the prime tower, because to extrude or retract 16 millimeters at 20 millimeters per second takes time, and the longer the nozzle sits in one place, the more time there is for the nozzle to ooze filament, and that's what causes those blobs on the side of the prime tower. And then what happens is they get knocked over. The nozzle will hit that blob and causes layer shift, or knocks the tower or the model right off the build plate, So we change this to the same as our normal retraction rate and distance. Alright, this should be good enough. I really just needed to test and see if both extruders worked with this bugfix version I put on here. So we're going to save it to a file out on the desktop. And then I'm going to go and check that file real quick and see if it's being told to change extruders or not. And it looks like, oh, I forgot to change my temperatures too. Okay. Need to go back and change that. What a mess. Yep. Do this so it doesn't pause to change temperatures. And I suppose I should go back and check and make sure I've got my post-processing. Well, I don't. This is very important. You got to do this for any of the GTech mixing machines except for well, I don't know if you have to do it for the A30M or not. Yes, you do. Never mind, you definitely do. Because Cura will try to shut the heater off. So we go down to search and replace, and we type M104 T brackets 0 to 7 N brackets plus S0. Leave replace blank. Check the use regular expressions box. This will keep Cura from trying to turn the extruders off on you and give you heating, failed heating messages. This causes a lot of them, so this is important to do for all the mixing printers. Alright, try again. Jeez, this was supposed to be just a quick test, turning into a long thing for just a quick test. Alright, save it to the file. Same name is fine, sure, why not? And now we'll check. Okay, so it is changing extruders. Definitely, so there isn't a problem there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this on a card, put it in the printer. Let's see, somewhere this card should show up. It's been a long time since I've done this. I don't know why. Maybe this SD card I've got in here is no good. Oh, come on. Can we make this any more complicated? Hold on. There we go. Format disk. Jeez. Oh, one issue after the other here. All the day in the life, though, right? Okay, so now we need to take MOI, drop it on there. It should be on there. Alright, go back to the printer, plug this in, and see what happens. It's been sitting over there preheating this whole time, so it's nice and hot now. Okay. Turn that back on. Turn that back on. Turn this up. That's how I purge these out before I print. I just turn the gear by hand, purge out a bunch of filament. You can do it with automatic scripts or whatever. I just do it that way because it's quicker for me. I just give these super plates just a quick wipe with alcohol. I know I already cleaned it once, but I'm going to do it again just because it's habit. Alright, that's good. Already preheated, but it thinks it needs to heat more. See what happens here. Come on, you silly thing. There we go. Well, that's a failure and a half. Awesome. Alright. That's not letting me stop the print. There's something not right there. Haven't run into that one before. I'm pushing the knob and nothing's happening. Alright, I'll hit the reset. It's happening for some reason. The nozzle's way too far off the bed. So, let's see, we'll go back and home again. Oh, I'll put this back on. Preheat. I wonder if I had, oh yeah. Oh. I think I might have had a blob of filament on the nozzle when I leveled it before. Because obviously the nozzle's too high off the bed right now. So oh yeah. That's way low. You'll notice in Marlin 2 they call it bed tramming now instead of level corners. It's a more correct term. I suppose enough people probably pissed and moaned about it enough that they finally changed it. Yeah, I must have had a blob of filament sticking out of the nozzle when I did this before because I didn't do it with it heated up. So I'm having to move this a long way. Alright. We're going to try this again. What are we doing? Still heating. Okay. Just make it a little tube is on the fly. At least it's sticking now.
A little too close.
I guess the filament runout detectors do not work because I don't even have them connected. I don't even have the things connected and it printed. So I guess that answers the question on the runout sensors. Whether they work in Marlin 2 yet or not, they don't. Well, anyway, guess we'll let that run a while. Noisy as it is, see what happens. Let's see. Move that camera down a little bit. Just got a new webcam, and unfortunately, it doesn't have a quarter by 20 hole in the bottom. I can just mount it on a tripod real easy. I'll have to make some way of doing that. Try this little box here and see if I can make that work. And so I can confirm now that both extruders work just fine. No changes that would have affected it in Marlin 2. Bug fix. So I don't know. People that have had issues with that. What has happened, I'm having a feeling it's probably slicer and setup issues. Or maybe it's just that I got bug fixed today. And there could have been some issue that was fixed. But as of today, September the 6th, 2 extruders work just fine for the A20M and bug fix. So we'll see what happens. Seems to be working as it should at the moment. Alright, so enough of that. Mission accomplished. I don't know if I'll let this continue to print or not. Maybe I will. I just got a delivery a few minutes ago with some new filament from G-Tech. Got some of their light blue. I want to try that. And see how that goes. So I guess I'll kill this video. If I let this print, I'll put a picture of it on the Facebook page underneath the link to the video. But I may not, because I mainly wanted to make sure that, well, I mean, this is the first test print on this newly refurbished printer. Which, by the way, will go up for sale soon. I've got plenty of printers. I don't need any more. I bought this as a refurb or a non-working printer off Amazon because I ran out of A20Ms and I wanted more. I've still got 5 or 6 A10Ms I gotta get refurbished and get rid of those. So hopefully there was some value to the at least how to set up Marlin too. Part of this. And next time I do a live stream, I'll advertise it ahead of time so people actually know that I'm going to do it. And then maybe somebody will watch it. I'll have fun. Catch you all later.